Welcome to the Lagfest. I have just spent the last couple of hours upgrading and optimizing my computer so that we could squeeze out a little bit of FPS. So I went through all of the settings and it is a lot better now. You can see that I am still lagging quite a bit, but it is at least smooth, whereas before, as you can see, it was an absolute slideshow. Like, you can't even play with this. So now we've got a decently smooth playing here, so it's a lot better than it was before, and I can actually, play the game, and you guys can actually watch it without feeling like you're going to have to barf in about 2 seconds. So it has been a very long time since the last episode. I know I was just going to quickly try and skip over that, just go back into the game. Hopefully you guys didn't notice. But yeah, we've been gone for quite some time. The main reason for that is because I decided that I was going to do Lego building instead of Minecraft. So that's probably the main reason. And I just never really came back. In the meantime, though, I did do a little bit of work, as you can see all around me here, and I built up this entire storage room. So we have a new storage room, and it's located right by the end portal here. So that's right over in this section. So we are very close to that. And I've done a little bit of work along the way as well. You can see that I've got a beacon up in the top corner there, so I've got haste 2 there. So yeah, I went ahead and killed the wither. I know we've done quite a bit of stuff, and I thought maybe I should, catch you guys up and show you all the stuff we did. Or you guys can just discover it as we go along in this episode. So if you notice something new, it's because I did it in between episodes. It's a whole thing. I tried to record an episode and then it never got released and then all that. So it's a bit of nonsense, but at least we are here now. So a couple of other things I did to my left here. You can see I built up a super simple sugarcane farm. So it's producing just a little bit of sugarcane, just enough for me to make rockets and that sort of thing. And then I've also got a basalt generator. So more basalt than I could ever possibly need there. And that's really it. I mean, besides our farms that are over at our villager section that is over that way somewhere, we have our iron farm and kind of those villagers. And we only have these 2 other farms. So I really need to get working in the farming business, and this is kind of what I did in the episode that was never released. I gathered all of the materials to make up some farms. So here in each of these chests is a different farm that we are going to build today. So we'll get to that in a little bit. It also appears since I've been gone, there's a little bit of propaganda around my base, although I actually don't have a totem, so that's actually very useful, Isaac. Thank you so much for that. So with this totem now in our hand, I think I should show you guys around the server just a little bit, just because you guys haven't really seen around here in a long time. So as of right now, our base is just kind of this hole in the ground, and we're going to be heading off this direction south, you can see down on the bottom there, to my previous base. Or not really previous base, it's just my villager trading hall currently. What in the world? I just got a I lost this trident in the previous episode and could never... Where the heck did that just come? What in the world? Well, that's a nice surprise that I wasn't expecting. We got our trident back, and this is our loyalty trident that we can just throw, and then it comes back, although it appears to be quite laggy. So who knew? I thought I'd lost that trident forever. Anyways, here we are approaching my old villager house area, and this place is still under construction by a large margin. So and it's also quite laggy over here because of all the villagers. We should probably do something about that in this episode, like putting some magma I think in front of them will help stop their pathfinding so they don't lag up the place quite as much. But yeah, all of this stuff is still here. I've done a couple of upgrades I think since the last time you guys have seen this, but I think altogether it's kind of the same. Now, if we want to do a flyby, I'm going to have to turn up my render distance here because currently it's on the lowest setting, so we'll give it 12 chunks. You guys are going to have to be prepared for the frame rate to drop quite a bit, but at least we'll be able to see some things. So let's take off here and take a look at... We appear to be lagging out quite a bit. So coming in for a quick flyby, you can see, yeah, it's basically the similar house as before. It just has a couple of upgrades and that sort of thing. And right over here is our iron farm. So other than that, I don't think too much has changed. We also still have this little section down here with all of the glowberries and kind of like our own little biome in this little cave here. And really, I don't think too much other than that has changed. Oh, right, and I think one thing I forgot to mention, so just as we're traveling in this nether tunnel here, I did get a new computer between the 2 episodes, but I am currently out and about traveling, and that's why I'm back to playing on a pretty crappy computer. And I think that's leading me to my next point. Another thing I should mention is don't expect these videos to keep coming out. I'm just making this one because I'm basically away from my LEGO collection, so we've got to finish Mumbo's Season 8 base before we do anything with Minecraft, and that should hopefully be fairly soon. Anyways, we're just coming up on the shopping district portal. I believe someone tried to fix this area here and then it all burned down, but it used to be a really nice, like, little jungle kind of area, but I definitely think that we can do a little bit of work on our nether hub in some future episode. Well, it appears my lag is greater than I thought. Anyways, now that we're back on the server and in the shopping district, you can see that a few things have changed. There's a couple new things that popped up, including some random ancient debris staircase and a couple of Technoblade monuments so that he is never forgotten. Now, besides that, I actually have not seen the server really at all, and some things have stayed the same, like our end shop there. Some things are definitely different. I have no clue what that thing is up there. Why, hello there. It appears I have fallen in a hole with a skeleton horse, so let me get out of this thing and we can keep exploring the shopping district. I have come across a creeper hiding in a hole there, and I just got an advancement, who knew? And I've also found a netherite barge, so that's kind of interesting. We might check out that later. You know what? I'm kind of all over the place right now because I haven't really seen the shopping district in quite some time, so let's just take to the skies and see what we can see. So that new thing, we might go check that out, but other than that, it looks like most of the stuff has stayed the same, and I do apologize, I do have a really low render distance right now because otherwise I am going to have such low frame rate that it's not even funny. Okay, I think I've landed safely. I still think I might be lagging a little bit more than I initially thought, so we shall see how this video goes. I might need to record it at a different time with a little bit better Wi-Fi. So it looks like this sort of anvil shop looks pretty new. I also see an Isaac Easter egg up there. Anyways, distracted again. So this kind of looks like an anvil shop. Maybe it's a mud shop, and it looks like we also got this other pillar of stuff. I don't know what that is. Technoblade monument, and then over there I think is the concrete shop, although I think that is still the same. That looks like it's been upgraded from the last episode. I think that's called the mausoleum or something, I forget. And over there we gotta go check out what that is. It looks like it could be a shulk shop potentially, at least I think that that's what it's called. Actually, let's just take the water stream. I'm not gonna risk it flying there because my lag seems to be so bad. And up we come. Okay, it doesn't look like that was a way up, so we might need to fly. Uh-oh, this could go wrong. Okay, this is my final attempt at getting up there. Come on. Yes, I've done it. Although I'm currently not touching any buttons that would make me move, but yeah, I'm still moving. Okay, we've made it. And it's a building competition. So worth it. So this entire competition here has been set up by Isaac, and basically we're trying to make the server a little bit more active than it is right now. In fact, I think currently it's just me on. And as you can see, take a look at my ping. It is pretty bad. That's probably why I'm lagging out so much. Now, I also think it's not just a building competition, it's also kind of a mayoral campaign. So there's all sorts of stuff going on the server. And I think, yeah, there it is. Entries close on August 31st. So make sure you guys get your builds in before then. And judging starts on the 10th of September. So a pretty cool thing here that Isaac set up. And I think I'm definitely going to try and enter in that building competition because I do have a couple of really cool plans for a build. And I think you guys are going to like it a lot. But I think other than that, the shopping district is looking pretty much the same. I know over in this direction, in the previous episode that didn't get released, I created a pretty massive landmass over here. So this is going to be the area that I am going to be building a shop eventually. But I don't think we're going to work on that in this episode. And again, I am lagging like crazy. I think I should maybe log off the server for now, otherwise I'm going to create some unwanted chaos by accident. I'm not even going to do it on purpose, oh boy. So I guess for now, let's head back to the base. Now that we are back in the base, there are a couple things that I want to show you, and then we can finally get going with this episode. And it has to do with this item right here. So between episodes, I've done a little bit of work with installing mods and plugins and that sort of thing. So now I have Optifine finally working, and we have this smooth lighting, or dynamic lighting, that's what it's called. So now we have this on the server, or rather, I guess, my perspective, so you can see the dynamic lighting, which I guess just helps for me carrying around a torch, and then you can actually see areas light up. So for example, here you can see that's a dark area, but when I go over it, it lights up. So that's a pretty cool feature that I've added on. There are also a couple of other mods. One other one is the use of the replay mod, so we'll be using that for sure when doing some time lapses in a little bit. And of course, things like the bar at the bottom, that just helps me with my coordinates so I don't have to get lost as often. Now we can get started with what I actually want to do in this episode. So behind me over here, there are 4 boxes, and in each of these boxes are different types of farms. So I am going to be going through and building up hopefully all of these in this episode, and I will reveal to you what each farm is as we go along. Now, obviously, as you can see here, this is the largest of the 4 of them. All the other ones are only 2 or 3 shulker boxes. So this one has the most materials of the 4, and I think this is the one that we are going to build first. Now, this first farm is going to be an absolutely massive mob farm that doubles as a copper farm. So basically, it just uses your normal mob farm and then takes all of the zombies, sorts them out, converts them into drown, and then gets the copper from them. So this farm is going to be a great start to our industrialization of our base here, so we get more materials than just iron. So this farm will produce things like gunpowder and witch drops, I believe, and even spider drops, skeleton drops, and give us copper. So this is going to be a pretty awesome farm for just giving us a lot of the basics. Now, if we head down the stairs to the nether, I've actually scouted out a location to put a kind of industrial area. Down this tunnel here is where I was planning on putting my industrial area. Now, as you can see, this tunnel is also where Totem and CTKM put their nether fortress farm, so I will just be expanding off of this tunnel. Now, I tried to choose a location that was kind of in the middle of the ocean, and according to the map, I did use a chunk base finder map thing to locate this. There was supposed to be an island, but there was no island to be found. So instead, we're just stuck in the middle of the ocean, which I suppose is fine. And in which direction? The east direction. So I think behind the portal that way somewhere is a guardian temple, so that's a potential farm we can make, and I also believe there's a pillager outpost a little bit further that way as well. Now, another main reason that I want to build this in the ocean is, of course, mob spawning and that sort of thing, and with water it's a lot easier, but a main material that I'm going to need for my future mega base is going to be squid ink. So basically I need the black dye from that, and I think that you can build a squid farm in the ocean. I'm not entirely sure though. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that before we start building any sort of squid farm. Anyways, I've set up a little bit of a workstation here, and here we have all of my materials, and you can see there is a lot of that brick slabs there. We got a lot of glass and basically all the materials to build up this farm. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna put it, probably just somewhere on the ocean here, but let's go ahead and get started. This entire farm here probably took a lot longer than it should have. And the main reason for that is I got sick halfway through it, so I haven't been able to record it all. Now the farm is up and running. You can see the skeletons dropping down through there, and the spiders and creepers and stuff, and the zombies heading up over to this killing chamber. So the farm is entirely done and it is working. Now I have to say that the spawns aren't very fast, and I think the main reason for that is because there's a little bit of nastiness down below somewhere. So I think there's some zombies in caves down there, so I'm gonna have to go clean that up. Now, obviously the main purpose of this entire section of the farm is to get these drowned here so then we can produce a little bit of copper. So if we head down below, I do have a little bit of copper that we've made so far, but I haven't really run this farm too much. Now, if I remember correctly, this entire design was built by Logical Geek Boy, so I'll hopefully have a link there in the description if I remember it. But yeah, this entire farm is all designed by Logical Geek Boy, and it is quite a nice farm. Now, in terms of the spawning, if I head up above, I did build myself a little bit of an AFK platform up here. So if we just stay here for literally a couple of seconds, and we head back down, you'll see that there are tons and tons more mobs. And you know what? That should honestly be enough time. So I'm just gonna head straight back down here, and we should immediately see a lot more oh. Okay, now that I'm back to what I was saying before, you can see almost immediately how many more spawns there are just after going up above the farm. So by doing that, I guess we're unloading any of the potential mobs down below, and then we load in just the farm. So you can see it's ridiculous how many zombies come in, and then immediately, as soon as I'm back down here, you can see that all the spawns stop again. So there's probably pretty massive caves below that are taking up all of that spawning, and hopefully I'll be able to take care of that. But for right now, the main purpose of this farm is, yes, it does produce copper, but the main purpose is down over here where all of the, oh, I fell off. And perfect landing first try. Down here in this super basic storage system that I set up, it is already full of all the drops that I get from this farm. Now, I do get chicken because of all of the zombies riding chicken, like those baby zombies. But other than that, I do get a massive amount of bones and a massive amount of gunpowder. So that is extremely useful for like doing TNT and for making rockets and all of that. And you can see there are also a couple of witch drops in here as well, because I do get the occasional witch. All right, and there's also string, which can be useful for making wool and that sort of thing. So overall, I think this is a pretty good farm to have. It does produce quite a lot of things, and having that copper is just a bonus. Now, while I was sick, I didn't do absolutely nothing. I did, in fact, get another couple of farms done. So these two farms behind me are a completely automatic tree farm and a bone meal farm, which has been giving me a little bit of trouble, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. So this farm over here is quite a simple and small tree farm, and it is entirely automatic, and it can produce 3 types of logs. So here you can see I've got jungle, it produces oak as well as spruce and birch, so it's a pretty versatile farm, and it's great for just doing logs, which I won't have to chop down again. Unless, of course, I want acacia or dark oak, but that is just a different story because you can't really mine those with this type of farm. But as you can see, I've run it for literally less than an hour, and it produces so much wood that I probably won't ever need to go mining for logs again, which I suppose is kind of the point of an automatic farm. Now, the only problem with this thing is that it does eat up quite a bit of bone meal, so all the bone meal systems are out in the back there, so you can see all those chests are basically full of bone meal. So I went ahead and also built up this bone meal farm. Now, this farm has given me quite a few headaches, mainly because it's not working properly. So normally there would be a bit of lava here to help produce that stone, but there's something wrong with like the updates and that sort of thing, probably to do with the server and it being a little bit laggy. But this farm just has been causing so many issues for me. I had to even switch out the dropper elevator here just for a water one because that wasn't working, and some of the timings over here weren't working either. And as of right now, this entire farm was probably a big, massive waste of time because it just isn't working at all. And in fact, I've probably put more bone meal into this thing than I've gotten out. So I think probably our next farming project is going to be to tear this thing down and replace it with a much better farm designed by Ilmango. But I've had enough farming and farm building for this episode, so I think we're going to move on to do something else. Now, one thing I noticed, especially while building up that massive platform up there, is that I am missing a fairly important enchantment on my trousers. Now, I'm sure you guys can all guess what that enchantment is, and to get it, we have to head into the deep dark. Okay, I now think that I'm ready to go. If you take a look at my inventory here, I've prepared myself with a bunch of wool, so I'm basically planning to go in there as stealthily as possible and basically trying not to spawn the warden at all. If I do have the little piston and observer trick, so hopefully that will save me, as well as my chest plate, which I have named Warden Defense, because basically this is going to be the only time that I really use a chest plate instead of an elytra. But yeah, this will be my Warden Defense when I go in there. Other than that, I also brought a couple weapons like my trident and my bow, so this definitely might help me if I get into a little bit of a pickle when I am trying to fight off the warden. Now, I think since I want to fly into rendered out chunks and that sort of thing, so an actual spot that I'm going to find a not looted ancient city, I have to start off in my industrial area here because it is quite far away from the rest of the main server. So I think I'm going to head off in this westerly direction here, and I'm just going to keep flying until I see some land. Alright, and I also have a totem. I subscribe to Isaac Gaming Totem, just as an extra backup. I have chosen this location for no reason in particular, and I guess now we just head down. Now, I'm not going to dig straight down, because that might be a bit of an issue, but I am going to dig straight down with a 2-wide hole, just to give me a little bit of extra warning when we do come across some caves and that sort of thing. And there it is, the ancient city. There as if we didn't plan it at all. Now, one thing that I do tend to do when I am either scared or trying to focus and not get attacked by the warden is I generally forget to talk, and I'm just focused on what I'm doing, and so there may not be a whole lot of talking during this excursion, but hopefully if I'm lucky, we won't ever have to actually face the warden. But just in case, I'm going to open up this area just as an escape route to quickly fly out. Now, I do have to give props to Mojang for creating quite a scary environment. Literally, the moment that I broke through the skulk here, and it made that kind of creepy, kind of scuttling sound, I kind of got a little scared there. So, I don't think... Oh, that is what I need to look out for. So... Oh, no. Those are what I need to look out for. So those things actually spawn this warden, I believe. So those things are the main things I have to look out for. But it's also the shulkers, because those can kind of set those things off. So this might be a little bit of a difficult run. Now, I guess I'll stick to my plan of setting up a small base of operations here, just so then I don't have to be too worried about losing stuff and spawning like all the way back at spawn. But this is definitely a little bit of a nerve-wracking undertaking. But I suppose we should just start and get down to those chests, but I am going to try and take it slow and just build my way down with some wool so then we don't make too much noise. I keep saying that I'm going to make my way down there slowly, but I'm not doing it because I really don't want to lose me or my stuff down here. Now, I suppose one feature I could use a little bit of is the dynamic lighting that I have. So when I shoot a bow, a flaming bow that is, over like in that direction, then it lights up the area. Although that might cause some unintentional spawns with that skulk you saw there. So that may not be the best choice for looting this place. Basically, I've decided with this excursion that as soon as I find that swift sneak, then I am getting out of here. Oh, I actually think I came in right above this massive kind of portal thing that looks like a warden face, so that actually is a little bit advantageous because I get this vantage point here and I don't have to tower too far down. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop giving you updates and we are just gonna get down to those chests. Ooh, those bats, they scare me because I always think that I've set off the skulk, but it's just a bat flying around. Ugh, I don't like that. Okay, we're coming up on our first chest, and we haven't had any issues so far, so hopefully this is going to go smoothly. Now, I'm just going to be completely safe and just block myself in with wool, and now we should be good to open it. And... Swift Sneak 3! That is actually amazing. Now we've just got a couple of echo shards and one disc fragment, and I guess we got some diving leggings there. Potion of regeneration, not too useful, but that's amazing. We already got Swift Sneak 3. That was the first, I swear, I did not set that part up, but that is so amazing that we got Swift Sneak 3 on the very first chest. And now I suppose I should just head out of here, but part of me kind of wants to explore around a little bit more and see what else we can get. I know there's not too much, I don't like that, but I don't think there's too much more that we can find around here, except for maybe a couple more of those disc fragments, but I don't think that disc is worth getting anyways. See, I'm so new to this update that I'm just gonna put myself back into this wool hole and go over to Google and search up what I can actually find in these ancient cities. I'm back from a quick Google, and apparently Swift Sneak 3 is the highest level. I thought Swift Sneak 4 was the highest level, but Swift Sneak 3 is the highest level. So we actually got that on the very first try, which is even more amazing than what I thought it initially was. So, and from what I can tell from the wiki, there is nothing else really worth getting, except for if you really want the disc, but it doesn't really seem worth getting all the other stuff. So that was a bit anticlimactic, and I guess I was a little bit too worried than what was actually necessary, but we should be able to get out of here absolutely, totally safe. And here we are back at my base already, so I guess that was a much easier mission than I was initially thinking it was going to be. And with that Swift Sneak safe in the ender chest, we can then apply those to our butt protection in just a few moments when I get back home. Now I am going to put 2 pieces of skulk at the top here, and if any of you guys want to explore a fairly unexplored ancient city, then you can see the coordinates down there. So you can head over here if you want to get in on that city, because I'm guessing there's probably more than one of that Swift Sneak 3 book. And you'll probably get another Swift Sneak at least. So if you want it, there is an ancient city right there. Now that we are back home safe and sound, I feel much, much better that that excursion is over. Like, it is so relieving to have something go so well. And even now, I'm still a little bit worried that, like, something's gonna come out and kill me. But we are done with that excursion. We've got the book. So let's open up our ender chest here. Take that out, and I actually kind of find it funny that it gave me some diamond leggings, but I don't need those because I've got obviously my own netherite ones, and I can get an anvil here. I don't think I actually have one on the floor, so, you know, simple as plopping down an anvil, getting our trousers off here, popping them on, and a little bit of Swift Sneak. Oh, I don't have the levels to do it. I'll be back in just a moment. And there we go. We now have everything to have Swift Sneak 3. Now we can test out this ultimate speed. Now, of course, walking is the same, but sneaking, ooh, it is so fast. Look at this, the speed. This is amazing. So, yeah, this is going to be so much better for building builds, especially when you're way up in the sky building a farm and you have to crouch and like place blocks. So this is going to be absolutely amazing for that. Now, before I end this episode, there's actually one more thing that we need to do today, and it involves heading back to the shopping district. And it involves this little floating island right up here. So at the start of the video, at least I think it was the start of the video, it was a little bit of a while ago now, but we wanted to compete in the building competition. Now, at this time, it is now past the start date, I believe, which was, yes, was August 31st. So, but according to Isaac, he actually postponed this, so we still have time to enter ourselves in. Now, one thing that I failed to read is that I am pretty sure that we have to place one diamond block in the boat over yonder, down here. So I completely missed that last time, and we wouldn't want to have an angry green man on our hands. So here is that golden block. Wait, no, that's not golden. That is very much aqua and diamond. So since it was postponed, I am going to wait for some news from Isaac on Discord. And in the meantime, I would recommend that any of you guys who are interested to definitely join on and participate in this building competition, because I think it's going to be really fun and should definitely bring back a little bit of life to this server. Because basically this entire time that I've been playing, there has been no one else online, which is kind of nice. You know, you get your server all to yourself, but it is much more fun to have lots and lots of other people around. So I think that's gonna about do it for this episode. I thank you guys so much for watching, and with that said, I'll see you all in the next episode. Gigahertz Productions, out. Now that next episode might not be for a while, because I am working on some Lego.